shootout, and it was so nice to see all the Chelsea players surrounding Kerr. This hurts. Really hurts.
I think with the narrative of the whole game, like the amount of offside goals and then the penalties, such high quality, Kerr coming on and then being the one to miss the penalty. I mean, I don't really know what to say. I feel utterly deflated.
Yeah, and the hashtag is penalty blues. It's just... We should never have let it get to this point. We had chance after chance after chance and clear-cut chances as well. Did more than enough to win the game.
Yeah, it feels like we deserve to win, which is why losing on penalties just feels even more devastating, doesn't it? But then there were so many chances we had to take them, especially with, you know, a lot of decisions not going our way. Sometimes it just doesn't feel like your day, and, you know, I think that can be said for today, but it's just a lesson. We get all the ways to these finals, you have to make the most of every chance given to you.
Going back to, I mean, there's so much to talk about in the game, but also so much to talk about in extra time. That Romelu Lukaku brilliant finish that was millimetres offside. I still don't know if it actually was offside. It was like so close. That's the thing. I think they said that they weren't, you know, those sorts of offsides were going to be sort of eradicated this season. Yeah. And it feels like he's leaning, and that's what...
But he doesn't gain any advantage from leaning like that, I guess. But, look, I think when he came on, actually, he did change the game. With Werner. I think they offered something different. I think he looked hungry, didn't he? He was getting in right positions. And he had the energy, and it's just unfortunate, isn't it? I think... sometimes that's just what happens in football. I mean, it's an emotional game, isn't it? Absolute rollercoaster. But think about the chances we actually missed.
It's so up and down. It's so hard to even, like, try and put into words what this feels like. And I just feel for Kerr. You know, I think when you think about the situation, Chelsea have done this before, so that wasn't a risk. It wasn't a gamble, and no one should be saying, oh, well, they should have kept Edouard Mendy on the pitch. Chelsea have statistically looked into penalties. And it's so difficult to even think about how that man's feeling, just 23 years of age. But he'll come back from it. He's been brilliant, hasn't he? Since Edouard Mendy has been at the Africa Cup of Nations, he's really proved himself, and he's got back to that Kerr that we knew and loved prior to his little blip.
Yeah, and I think when we look back at a couple of years ago, when the whole story around him was quite a negative one, wasn't it? Look at how he's shown his mental strength, even to come on in them moments, for such a young man, to be able to give him that responsibility. Look, penalties, they're just sometimes just pot luck, aren't they? And for him to be brave enough to come on and take that responsibility, own it, yes, unfortunately, it didn't happen in the end, but look, he has been fantastic while Mendy has been away. And I thought he was actually hard done by not starting this game in the first place.
But I mean, the save that Edouard Mendy makes, you can understand why. What will Thomas Tuchel be saying to his team? Because it was an absolutely brilliant performance. It was nothing short of brilliant. The only thing missing was putting the ball in the back of the net when we were onside.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what he will be saying. I think he'll just say, you know, it came down to tiny margins and we should have taken all the chances that we had, because when you leave it to penalties, sometimes it's your day, sometimes it's not. It's, you know, it's 50-50, isn't it? And the fact that we got to Kerr taking a penalty, you know, we didn't think that was gonna happen. It
just summed up the game, didn't it? A brilliant game and a brilliant penalty shootout as well. That Lukaku goal, we can see our reactions now.
Oh, no, no.
Look at me, just chilling there.
He's offside, he's offside.
Oh, it's so frustrating because... No.
The amount of highs and lows in this game has been ridiculous.
I know, but that was a real positive.
Yeah.
His performance, we were talking about it, everyone was talking about it. You brought in Romelu Lukaku to win those games and for him to play in big finals. Now, everyone understood it wasn't really a shock that he didn't start, but to come on, to play like that, and even during the penalties, he's geeing up the crowd and he's turning around. It feels like it could be a potential change in feeling around the situation, do you think?
Yeah, you know what? I think he took responsibility. When he came on, he looked like a leader, didn't he? Looked like the player that we know He is.
Yeah.
And as I said, like, I think he really, he uses physicality well. I think he offered something different when he came on. And I think it was almost like a plan B. If plan A didn't work, I think the energy that the starting front three showed was fantastic. They did a job when the game was a little bit more open. That space was open. It was there.
Yeah.
He's such a good job of holding the ball up. Especially against the likes of Matip and Van Dijk, to kind of dominate how he did.
They took Matip off because they knew that the threat that it would be an entirely different prospect for Matip than Kanté, and actually Kanté couldn't really deal with him either, could he?
No, I think he was unmarkable
really
at some stages.
Today, wasn't he? Absolutely. I think we saw his strengths, his hold-up play, just his physicality. Is such a unit, isn't he? And he did take his chances, except it was offside.
Yeah. That's when you've got Romelu Lukaku, play the ball in behind, because look what happens when you do that. I don't know how many offside goals we want, but we had another one, and I wasn't sure this was on offside. Kai Havertz. No. Oh, honestly, the amount of times we've gone up, I think I'd given up by that point.
But with the fact that it was Havertz, it just felt like, I don't know, it kind of felt almost written in the stars. He's the big game player. He's going to get us that winning goal, and it just didn't happen. That offside flag is going to be in my nightmares, I tell you.
I just think there wasn't enough cards shown as well in the game. I don't think it was refed as well as it could have been.
It feels like a lot of the decisions maybe didn't go our way. Going back to Kai Havertz, played for the whole 120 minutes and he caused Liverpool problems the whole time. And also, it was nice to see that when Romelu Lukaku came on, we still got a really positive effect of both of them, because there's a question of whether they can play together, whether one of them has to play out wide. But we saw almost the best of both in that second half.
Yeah, the work rate was fantastic from Kai. I think his defensive role that he played was great, but also he was willing to make them runs and interlink with Lukaku. And there has been some criticism. Can they actually play together? Are we getting the best out of both of them when they're both playing together? But I think when you're playing top opposition, you need your top players. And sometimes I think as the game did open up, they were finding them spaces. But I mean,
it's so deflating. I think Chelsea have a lot of positives to take from this performance, and that's what makes it almost harder to take. Is that sometimes if you play in a final and you get played off the park and you lose, then you're like, well, fine, we didn't deserve that today, but today we did deserve it. Although we have got positives to take, and one of those, I'll get on to Reece James in a second, because that is obviously a brilliant positive. But Trevor Chalobah, how impressed were you, Abby, with his performance, especially given the problems that Luis Diaz was causing him? Like, throughout the game, he dealt with him brilliantly, didn't he? Oh,
because Diaz was having an absolutely phenomenal
Best
game.
Player on the pitch, wasn't he?
Potentially, an absolutely exceptional talent. And I thought, Chalobah kept him as quiet as he could. He kind of kept up with him. He was just brilliant. I mean, think that there was a point where we were like, maybe we're going to let him go. Is he going to go on loan? Now he's playing so well for the first team and putting in a performance like that in a cup final. I'm so chuffed for him.
I just think the repetitive runs that he was making down the line, asking so many questions of him, is he going to go cross? And it's about making. I think it's a balance when you're playing that position. You don't want to overcommit yourself, because then he's just going to cut inside. And the way he was shifting his body weight and forcing him and really narrowing angles was really great.
Learned from the best, Thiago Silva, maybe?
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Cool, calm and collected.
Even
every single
that
time.
I would say I didn't actually watch any of those penalties, by the way. I'm rubbish at a penalty shootout. I do not know how I did it in Munich. I can't do it, and I just wait for the reaction, so that wasn't great. Reece James, guys, because how nice is it to see him, and how much of a difference does he make down that right-hand side?
Oh, so much of a difference. He's so fantastic, isn't he? And I think the attacking wing-backs are kind of what differentiate us from lots of other teams. And when he's at his best and those crosses are flying in, we see so many chances. I know he's only just come back, but I'm excited for him, hopefully, to get back to his best, which is very, 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 very good. And going forward, he gives Chelsea now another dimension. It's so good to have Reece James back. Right, let's head back over to the fan wall. RJ's there. RJ, it must be so early in the morning now, maybe 5, 6 or 7 o'clock, I don't know. How are you feeling? Obviously, you can tell we're very deflated in the studio. I imagine you're feeling the same. Chelsea didn't deserve that, did they?
No, guys, and listening very carefully, you wrapped it up very well. It's just the highs and lows of being on the Chelsea roller coaster, unfortunately, and it ended up with us not ending on a high. But these things happen. I thought, overall, thematically speaking, very proud of the way that they went out there and took it to Liverpool. They absorbed the waves of pressure. They created many clear-cut opportunities on another day when we had a bit of good fortune, blended in with some I dare say, some more consistent officiating, wink, wink, we might have got a better result in the end, but it wasn't to be. And it's one of those strange situations that it hurts, of course. We're all heartbroken, but plenty of positives to take away, as you said, Olivia.
Absolutely. And RJ, there's been a lot said about Chelsea and the way they've performed, especially over the last couple of months. But the performance today against one of the best sides in Europe right now says a lot about Chelsea, and this should give us a lot of encouragement going forward to the Champions League, the back end of the season, shouldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, because there's still plenty to play for. We've obviously got the league where we want to finish as high as possible. We have the Champions League, FA Cup run next. If we continue to play the way like we did today and just being obviously a little bit more efficient and clinical with our chances, because chance creation has, I think, been a bit of an issue with us in more recent times, but now it's the old conversion that's been a bit of a problem. But if we can sort out that finishing, the way we've played, including those that come off the bench, including Hakim, you mentioned Romelu Lukaku, then I've only got cause for optimism. But hopefully our players stay fit and healthy and don't get too demotivated by that result. So hopefully they keep their chins up.
And RJ, just finally, a brilliant cameo, I suppose, off the bench. We were just talking about it from Romelu Lukaku. After everything that's happened, that's a real plus to take, and it just shows, you know, if you play in those balls in behind, he's still got it. That world-class striker is still there.
Yeah, for sure, because obviously the controversy at the start of the match would be who would start, him or Kai, and I thought both players stood well together. They combined well, and once Romelu came on, I thought once they were able to engage him and play him in, he was obviously someone that looked very dangerous on the ball, and he did score a well-worked finish, in my opinion, and I'm still a little bit confused as to how they ruled it out with the VAR controversy, but it is what it is. I'm still very pleased with his cameo, and fingers crossed he takes that forward and hopefully puts them in the back of the net legally for us.
RJ, you've been brilliant. Thank you so much, and the absolute dedication from you. Go and get some sleep now. I think you deserve it. Thank you so much for coming on the show. We've had plenty of you tweeting. Let's have a look at some of them now. Jan has said, heartbreaking way to end what was an incredible contest. That is not on Kepa. Absolutely, that's one thing we want to say. Fair play to Kepa for stepping up in that situation and wanting to come on, having not played a single minute. And it's just, yeah, disappointing. But hopefully he will recover from this. He's got it in there. And Chelsea FC USA, we gave it our all. And I think that's the one thing today. We saw a brilliant performance, like we've mentioned, but also heart, desire, passion, everything you want to see from your team in a cup final. Those lads, every single one of them gave it today, didn't they?
Yeah, we gave it everything. It literally came down to that final penalty from our goalkeeper. I mean, it's a really close contest, and the form that Liverpool are in right now, you know, we were a bit nervous going into it, let's be honest. You know, they're in such phenomenal form, probably the best team in Europe, up there with us and City. So the fact that we gave them, you know, a really good contest today, there's a lot to take away, some amazing individual performances, and of course we're going to be disappointed. You know, we're Chelsea fans, we're used to winning trophies. This squad are going to be absolutely gutted, but they're going to go out there and give it their absolute best for the rest of the season. And we're still in competitions. There's still so much to play for. And that absolutely bodes well going forward. Of course, the story of the day is Kepa missing that penalty. And here are our reactions in the studio. I can't watch. I cannot watch. And it just...
That was horrendous.
I just couldn't watch. I can't bring myself. I don't know how I did it in Munich. I really don't. You know... To come that far, 120 minutes, I know.
Look, I think
it's heartbreaking. It really is. It's almost, like, I feel lost for words a little bit to try and describe how Chelsea fans are feeling, but proud is the one thing that comes to mind.
Yeah,
and we should be.
You can't fault the endeavour. Sometimes football is just brutal. Them really fine margins are the difference, and whether that comes to the goalkeeper taking a penalty, that's just how it is sometimes. And did we deserve to win? Yes, I think we did. And unfortunately, we didn't, and we didn't take our chances. But I tell you what, every single one of them players gave it all their all, and I'm incredibly proud of them.
Yeah, absolutely. And there is plenty still to play for. I mean, the league may be out of reach, but we are a cup team. Despite what happened today, we can show that in a one-off game we can go toe-to-toe with anyone. Coming into this game, we were underdogs. And that we've got the Champions League still in that, obviously going away to Lille. We're still in the FA Cup. There are plenty of opportunities to win a trophy this season, isn't there? Back-to-back Champions Leagues, who says no?
Exactly. Too right.
Maybe that's it. We'll look back at this and be like, oh,
we didn't want to win that anyway.
We won back-to-back Champions League, champions of Europe once.
Sometimes
once
a
again.
setback can actually fuel you to go on to the next. So, you know, we might be looking back, as Abby said, and saying, you know, it was for the best.
Do you remember that before with the FA Cup last year, like losing to Leicester, and obviously just from a moment of brilliance from them, from Tielemans, and then we went on and won the Champions League, and we were kind of like, all right then.
Yeah, cool.
You know,
we'll take that.
I'd rather that.
You know, obviously we want to win everything because we're such an ambitious football club, but you know, that's football sometimes. You win some, you lose some. I'm excited to see how the rest of the season plays out, to be honest.
And we haven't got any rest because in 3 days' time we play Luton in the FA Cup. Now that we didn't win this trophy, that would be nice to go far in the FA Cup and go one better than we did last year.
Yeah, and you know, football, it just moves on so fast, doesn't it? I think they'll be looking at this game, reviewing it, and then just looking forward to the FA Cup, looking at the next trophy that we can win, and we're still in. And yeah, you can't get too low in some of these games. I think you have to stay quite constant. You can't get too high when you win, can't get too low when you lose. So I think you have to maintain some kind of consistency, and then I'm just trying to put the most positive spin on it.
Chelsea's record at Wembley just doesn't get any better now. We've now lost 5 of the last 6 at Wembley.
But we'll get to another FA Cup final. Is that the main thing? Is that we don't want to be a team that celebrates getting to a final because we're not Chelsea. We're not that. We are a team that celebrates winning trophies. But this team, Thomas Tuchel's only been in charge for a year. We've got to the FA Cup final. We've won the Super Cup. We've won the Champions League. We've got to the League Cup final. Thomas Tuchel has got to every single final he's played in with Chelsea. So that is a positive spin on this situation, isn't it? Oh, absolutely. We've got the most amazing manager in Thomas Tuchel. We've got a great squad. I also think there was maybe a little bit of kind of unlucky timing for us. Someone like Reece only just coming back from injury. Obviously, Mason was injured, maybe not played at his absolute best today. There was a few kind of factors that were against us today. But when all the players are at their best and Thomas Tuchel with the tactics, I mean, we're a force to be reckoned with.
And never write Chelsea off. And Thomas Tuchel, I think every Chelsea fan out there believes in that man and knows that Chelsea can do huge things. You've seen what he's done in such a short space of time. Imagine what he could do with 2, 3, 4 years. I think we're all forgetting he's only been at the club for just over a year. And it's actually remarkable what he's done, even just to the team in general. Getting to all those finals is brilliant, but the way we play, he could turn Chelsea into a real force to be reckoned with, couldn't he? Yeah,
it's about the consistency that he's installed instantly. I think the structure and the spine of the team is so strong. And that's kind of where he's made his basis from. Thiago Silva, you know, the leaders, Rudiger, Aspie, even the young players coming through, they're all taking full responsibility for everything. And it's just lovely to see that we have that structure in place. And I think he'll see a lot of positives in this game. And I'm sure he'll be spinning that Kepa miss into a positive as he does.
And all those chances that we missed, hopefully he'll be spinning them into a positive. Right, let's head over to Wembley, guys. I'm sure you're as deflated as us here. But as we've been saying in the studio, an absolutely brilliant performance and so many positives to take. We just couldn't get over the line this time.
Absolutely right. You know, there's so many positives to take. As you can hear, it's quite noisy at the moment. Liverpool very much enjoying the moment. A fair play to them, Joe. You know, they deserved it. They've done very well. It's an incredible game of football. Unfortunately, that's it, though.
Yeah, it was an incredible game of football. For a 0-0, it's probably as good as a 0-0 I've watched them. But the quality on the pitch, even the quality of the defending from both teams. I thought Rudiger was outstanding. How he dealt with Mo Salah, I think, is the best player in the world at the moment. I agree with the girls in the studio there. I think maybe timing. Remember, this isn't an end of a story like a Champions League or an FA Cup final. This is part of the story of this season. We've won trophies already. We're still going strong in the Champions League, FA Cup, and this game came at the wrong time. But what I would say is that this Liverpool team have been in probably the form of any team in Europe over the last 2 months, and I've not seen anyone lay a glove on them. Chelsea had 3 disallowed goals today, so in another time it could have been different. So Thomas Tuchel, he's been remarkable. The team, the structure, everything about the team was spot on today. Tactically, tactically we got it right, but sometimes it's written in the stars with cup finals, and unfortunately it wasn't our day.
No, you're absolutely right, mate. Listen, it's a classic in terms of the penalty shootout, Zach, to go right the way through to the goalkeepers. It rarely happens, you know. Every penalty, we were sat in the press box, just going, every penalty is a good penalty. It wasn't an opportunity, it wasn't like there's a missed chance. It's just one of them days. It's gutting, it's heartbreaking. You know, there's a few Chelsea fans that have stayed to clap the Liverpool players, pick the trophy up, and the players stood to a man on the pitch. Thomas Tuchel ensured that before they went in. It's gutting, but you win and lose as a team. And everyone was still together at the end there, did a whole lap, and that's the character of this group of players.
Oh, yeah. I mean, look, they put their hearts out on that pitch today. They played for the badge fantastically. And the side of game, after 120 minutes, it's level. Neither team scored a goal. And the penalties today were just impressive. They were all impressive, every single one of them. And when it comes to the end of the game and you have to have penalties, a team has to win and a team has to lose. That's how it works in cup final. Joe himself has been on the losing side of it before. And those players, it's gutting. And for the fans, it's gutting. But you've got to learn, you've got to keep moving on. I think there are a lot of positives to take out from that performance here. I think Chelsea over 120 minutes were the dominant team. In the post, Nest was into the bottom corner. So I think, the girls mentioned as well before, the timing might have just been a little bit too soon. Reece James. I'm
going to pause you there for a second, Zach, because your mic keeps flickering in and out. I think it's the interference, because Dua Lipa's quite loud over the top of us as well at points today, Joe.
This is it? I don't know music out of the 90s.
You were bopping out a second ago, don't give me that. No, mate, it's disappointing, but like Zach said, you know, you mentioned to us just a minute ago, you've been in this situation, you've watched an opposition team lift the trophy up. Does it drive you on more?
Yeah, it does. I mean, I've been in both positions, won trophies, been fortunate enough to win trophies, and also in the position. But this trophy it's a great trophy. It's a wonderful trophy to win a lot of history. But where at the timing of it, you can brush yourself down because they got a massive game soon. The lads, you know, they're fighting on two fronts, possibly three. Although I think the league's probably out of our reach. But after that performance tonight, that's like I said, Liverpool were the form side going in, and tactically Thomas Tuchel got it spot on. Everything he done was right. You have to lift yourself. You have to pick yourself up. And you have no doubt. You don't have any doubt with this group of players, with what they've done already. You have no doubt that next week they'll be on it, because that's the characters of them. I love this Chelsea team. It's one of the best teams I've seen. It really is. And I think they'll be back, and I think they'll go on and win many, many major. And the girls are right in the sense as well. He's only been here for a year. So there's improvements to be made into this team.
No, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And that's the thing, isn't it? You can see the transition. You can see the fact that this team's still learning. This team is still doing a lot. You know, Zach, it's a proud day to be a Chelsea fan. Regardless, the fans were incredible. It was covered. It was so noisy. They were fantastic. It's been a great day. It's a shame it didn't go away, but that's football.
That is football. That is football. You win games, you lose games. I mean, there's only one team to have gone once a whole season to be unbeaten in the league, and that shows you how hard it is. Look, finals are difficult, and when you're playing a team like Liverpool today, and you come away and think, you know what, I actually felt like we were unfortunate, maybe not to bag a goal in the end, and you come away, if it is a penalty, you lose on a penalty shootout. That's just how the world works. But you're still in Champions League. You can still try and battle for Champions League football in the Premier League. See what happens. You never know. Man City could slip up. Liverpool could slip up in the league. And then you've also got the FA Cup that you're still in. Now, Chelsea will brush it off. I'm sure there'll be learnings. They'll take it. They'll learn from it. But they'll brush it off and it's on to the next thing. All I'm saying is the Champions League, we could be there.
It's on. Zach, Joe, been a pleasure, both of you boys. Thank you so much for today. It's a hell of a day. You know, you're always proud of this team. It didn't go our way, but we're all Chelsea, aren't we? This is what happens. Liv, back to you.
Joe, Zach, Joe, thank you so much. We will go again. We are Chelsea. This is what's coming up on the Fifth Stand this week. We've got PL2 Live, Everton taking on Chelsea, of course, on 6:55 p.m. on Monday. And Wednesday, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, 6:30 p.m, Luton versus Chelsea. Matchday Live. We will be here on the Fifth Stand out to do that. Guys, thank you so much. Joe, Zach, thank you so much, boys. It's been an absolute pleasure. Abby, Claire, it's been a pleasure. It wasn't Chelsea's day, but we are the champions of Europe and we will go again. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time on Matchday Live. Bye-bye.